runway stretches into the distance under a quiet gray sky. There is no urgency, no visible buildup, no sign that anything unusual is about to take place. A fighter aircraft begins its roll, its engines rising steadily rather than dramatically. Moments later, something else follows. Not another aircraft in the traditional sense, but a shape that does not behave like one. Smooth, angular, and silent in its profile, it lifts into the air with a different kind of presence. This is not just another test flight, it is a glimpse into a shift that is unfolding quietly, almost deliberately, in the structure of modern air combat. Russia's Su-57 and the S-70 Okhotnik are not simply operating as separate platforms. They are moving towards something more integrated, something that changes how air power is projected, coordinated, and sustained. For decades, air combat has been defined by manned aircraft. Pilots controlled the mission, made decisions in real time, and carried the responsibility of both execution and survival. Technology evolved around them, improving sensors, weapons, and stealth, but the fundamental structure remained the same. The aircraft was the center of the system. Everything else supported it. But modern warfare is beginning to move beyond that model. The introduction of unmanned systems is not new, but their role is changing. They are no longer limited to surveillance or isolated strike missions. They are becoming part of a larger network, operating alongside manned aircraft in ways that extend capability rather than simply adding capacity. The Okhotnik represents this shift. At first glance, it does not resemble a traditional drone. Its design reflects a focus on low observability, with a flying wing structure that minimizes radar signature. This is not accidental. It is built to operate in contested airspace, where detection can determine survival. But design alone does not define its role. What matters is how it is used, and increasingly, that use is being shaped by integration with the Su-57. The concept of a wingman in air combat is not new. Fighter aircraft have always operated in pairs or formations, supporting each other, sharing information, and covering vulnerabilities. What is new is the idea that one of those wingmen does not carry a pilot. The Okhotnik is designed to operate alongside the Su-57, extending its reach, increasing its options, and reducing the risks associated with certain mission profiles. This changes the dynamic of air operations. The pilot remains central, but the system expands beyond a single aircraft. One of the most important aspects of this integration is information. Modern air combat is driven by data. Sensors detect targets, systems process information, and decisions are made based on a continuous flow of inputs. The Su-57 is designed to operate within this environment, acting both as a sensor and a node in a larger network. By integrating with the Okhotnik, this network extends further. The drone can operate ahead of the fighter, gathering data, identifying threats, and relaying information back to the pilot. This creates a layered awareness that is more difficult to achieve with a single platform.
This extended awareness has direct operational implications. In a contested environment, knowing where threats are located is often more important than having the ability to engage them immediately. By pushing reconnaissance capabilities forward, the system gains time. Time to plan, time to adjust, and time to act. The Okhotnik provides that forward presence, operating in areas that may be too risky for a manned aircraft to enter first. But the role of the drone is not limited to observation. It can also carry weapons, allowing it to engage targets directly. This introduces a level of flexibility that changes how missions are structured. The Su-57 can coordinate attacks, assign targets, and manage the overall engagement, while the Okhotnik executes specific tasks. This division of roles allows for more complex operations, where multiple objectives can be addressed simultaneously. The concept is not about replacing the pilot, it is about reducing constraints. Certain missions carry higher risk, particularly those that require entering heavily defended airspace. By using unmanned systems to perform some of these tasks, the risk to human life is reduced, while the overall effectiveness of the mission is maintained or even enhanced. This does not eliminate risk entirely, but it redistributes it in a way that is more manageable. From a technical perspective, achieving this level of integration is not simple. It requires reliable communication, secure data links, and systems that can operate autonomously when necessary. The Okhotnik must be able to follow commands, adapt to changing conditions, and maintain coordination with the Su-57 without constant input. This level of autonomy is a key factor in its development. It allows the system to function effectively even in environments where communication may be limited or disrupted. This is where the significance of state testing becomes clear. Testing is not just about verifying that the system works, it is about understanding how it behaves under different conditions, how it interacts with other systems, and how it can be integrated into operational doctrine. The transition from development to deployment requires confidence, and that confidence is built through testing. The expansion of this program suggests that the concept is moving beyond theory. It is being refined, adjusted, and prepared for practical use. This does not mean it is fully operational, but it indicates a direction where manned and unmanned systems operate together, each complementing the other. For NATO planners, this development introduces new considerations. Western air forces are also exploring similar concepts, but the emergence of a functional system requires a reassessment of assumptions. Air defense, interception, and engagement strategies must account for the presence of unmanned systems that can operate independently or in coordination with manned aircraft. This adds complexity to an already challenging environment. The presence of a Wingman drone changes how threats are perceived. A single aircraft is no longer a single target. It is part of a system that may include multiple platforms, each with its own capabilities. Engaging one element does not necessarily neutralize the threat. This requires a more comprehensive approach, where the entire system must be considered.
This complexity extends to electronic warfare as well. Communication between the Su-57 and Okhotnik relies on data links that must be protected from interference. At the same time, opposing forces may attempt to disrupt these links, creating a contest within the electromagnetic spectrum. The effectiveness of the system depends not only on its physical capabilities, but on its ability to maintain communication and coordination under pressure. From a strategic perspective, the integration of unmanned wingmen reflects a broader trend in military development. It emphasizes adaptability, flexibility, and the ability to operate in contested environments. Rather than relying on a single platform to perform all tasks, the system distributes those tasks across multiple elements. This creates redundancy and resilience, making it more difficult to disrupt operations. The economic aspect also plays a role. Unmanned systems can be produced and deployed at a different scale compared to manned aircraft. While advanced drones like the Okhotnik are still complex and costly, they offer a way to expand capability without proportionally increasing risk to personnel. This allows for a different approach to force structure, where numbers and distribution become part of the strategy. This does not mean that traditional aircraft become obsolete. The Su-57 remains a central element, providing command, control, and high-level capability. The drone enhances that capability, extending its reach and adding flexibility. The relationship is complementary, not competitive. The implications of this development extend beyond immediate operational considerations. They influence how future systems are designed, how training is conducted, and how strategies are developed. The concept of manned-unmanned teaming is likely to become more prominent, shaping the next generation of air combat. This evolution is not sudden, it is gradual, built on incremental improvements and ongoing experimentation. Each test,
Each adjustment and each deployment contributes to a larger shift. Over time, these changes accumulate, altering the structure of air power in ways that may not be immediately visible but are increasingly significant. The Su-57 and Okhotnik program is part of this process. It represents an effort to adapt to changing conditions, to explore new concepts, and to integrate emerging technologies into a coherent system. It is not a final solution, but a step in an ongoing evolution. In modern warfare, control of the air is not defined solely by speed or stealth. It is defined by information, coordination, and the ability to adapt. Systems that can integrate these elements effectively gain an advantage that goes beyond individual performance. They shape the environment in which operations take place. The Okhotnik, operating alongside the Su-57, contributes to this shaping. It extends awareness, increases flexibility, and adds a layer of capability that changes how missions are conducted. It does not replace existing systems, but it enhances them, creating a more complex and capable structure. This is why the development matters, not because it introduces something entirely new, but because it represents a shift in how existing concepts are applied. It shows how air power is evolving, moving toward a model that is more integrated, more flexible, and more resilient. And this shift is happening quietly, without dramatic announcements, without immediate transformation, but with a steady progression that is gradually redefining what air combat looks like. The Su-57 and Okhotnik program is part of that process. It represents an effort to adapt to changing conditions, to explore new concepts, and to integrate emerging technologies into a coherent system. It is not a final solution, but a step in an ongoing evolution. In modern warfare, control of the air is not defined solely by speed or stealth. It is defined by information, coordination, and the ability to adapt. Systems that can integrate these elements effectively gain an advantage that goes beyond individual performance. They shape the environment in which operations take place. The Okhotnik, operating alongside the Su-57, contributes to this shaping. It extends awareness, increases flexibility, and adds a layer of capability that changes how missions are conducted. It does not replace existing systems, but it enhances them, creating a more complex and capable structure. This is why the development matters, not because it introduces something entirely new, but because it represents a shift in how existing concepts are applied. It shows how air power is evolving, moving toward a model that is more integrated, more flexible, and more resilient. And this shift is happening quietly, without dramatic announcements, without immediate transformation, but with a steady progression that is gradually redefining what air combat looks like. The Su-57 and Okhotnik program is part of that process. It represents an effort to adapt to changing conditions, to explore new concepts, and to integrate emerging technologies into a coherent system. It is not a final solution, but a step in an ongoing evolution.